What's going on, YouTube? I hope you're having a very Merry Christmas. This December 25th. It's about 3:30 in the morning. I hope you guys don't have a cold like I do. Got a little bit of a cold, can't really sleep. So I made some arm wrestling lifts. I think I'm gonna do a little bit different ones than what I usually do. I usually hit pronation and just regular wrist flexion and some rise. And I think this time I'm gonna bust out the multi spinner. So I'm gonna hit some high hook and some low hook. So let's get into that. Here is our multi spinner. It's made out of 2 cans and just a little strap. I got this off of an old laptop bag that I wasn't using anymore. And I kind of just split one can down the middle so it could kind of fold together, and I could morph the circumference of the can, and I shoved it in here just to reinforce the first can. And I drilled a hole through both of them and tied it right here. But yeah. Now I'm sure a lot of you guys might be wondering, Damon, why are you working out? It's Christmas Day. It's almost 4 in the morning. You have a cold. This and that. Well, I just want to, basically. So that's why I'm doing it. And yeah, I might have to be up in 5-6 hours, something like that. Not even. But I don't know. I just want to work out, so I'm gonna do it. I might not have a lot of time, but I'm gonna make time. So here we go. I'm gonna start off with some pronation. What I'm almost trying to do is roll my hand like this, but not fully like this, as I'm almost bringing my hand up like I'm gonna put it on my cheekbone, but not quite. You almost bring it up like you're gonna put it on your cheek, but you leave it just like a hand space away from your face. That's almost the motion for this rise and roll. But yeah, let's just get to it. I think we're gonna do 1 to 2 more sets for pronation and probably move on to rise. Probably should have done rise first, but I feel like when it comes to arm wrestling, it's usually it's usually you start, and it all starts in the wrist first. You start with a little bit of wrist flexion, and then if you can get enough good wrist flexion, you can just roll over. But if you can't, then you kind of have to rise until you can, and then roll. So probably jumping around a little bit, but we're still getting the workouts in, so that's important at least. But yeah. My shirt is kind of Christmas themed. It's got antlers. I'm sure you guys can probably tell I am a little bit sick. I'm sniffling, coughing. My voice is all scratchy. You got a sore throat. But honestly, just laying in bed, doing nothing, all it does is make me just sit there and think, man, I'm sick as fuck. When I get up and do something, it's really not as bad. And actually, I might be able to go to sleep after I work out, because I might be tired. Yeah, I think we're gonna have one more set for pronation. You know, if you guys don't have like a belt, which you probably should if you're about to have this next thing, but if you don't have a belt and you have a pair of pants laying around that you don't use, and you don't have one of these little metal rods or these clips to hold everything together, you can get a pair of pants and put it through the hole of your plate, your weights, and you can tie a big old knot to keep it in place. Or if you don't have plates, you can tie together 2 dumbbells or something. That's what I used to do all the time. But yeah, those are just options you can do if you don't really have this stuff just laying around, because you probably don't. But you probably have at least a pair of pants laying around, I'd hope. But yeah, let's get to this next set. Can fill. Get that back up there. Now, I don't know if you guys can tell or not, but my outside game, like my top roll, my king's move, that's what I think is a little bit weaker. I'm more of an inside arm wrestler. But so that's why you see me really hitting outside movements more, like pronation and rise. You don't really see me hitting wrist flexor, my bad, and the high cut multi spinners much, because they're just a lot more dominant than my outside game, because I've always used my inside game. So yeah. Should have done this since the very beginning. Now I can get it more at a 90-degree angle. Now we're going to move on to rise. That looked like a really bad movement. Do not take that out of context. Alright, so up next we're going to do some rise. I'm not sure how many sets I'm going to do of everything, just because it is getting a little late, and I do want to get some sleep. But there's two different ways of doing this. I mean, there's probably more than two, but there's two different ways that I like to do it. And the first one is a little bit easier. It's, you go in, you have your belt, you have your strap, whatever it is, you go in palm up, right? Palm up. You let the straps go on the outside of your palm, right? And the first strap can go behind your knuckles, kind of like this, and then the second one can go over here on your fingers. And it's kind of leaving the knuckles exposed. Now the harder version is just taking both the straps and putting them right over your knuckles the best you can. And this is the one I'm going to probably use, but if you guys want a little bit of an easier one, this does work just about the same. It's just not as hard. Here we go. Oh yeah. And by the way, what you're trying to do for this lift is, since it's the rise, what you're basically doing is you're just trying to take your arm and rise it up and make it as tall as you can. That's basically the fundamental of that move. I'm not doing the full range of motion, I'm just doing the partials, the small intricate movements. But yeah, you kind of want to brace your wrist up like this and then rise and try and make your hand as tall as possible, your arm and your hand. The smaller the strap is, to a certain point, for the most part, yeah, the smaller your straps are, the harder it's going to be, because it's going to apply the pressure in a smaller area. But if you have really big straps, then it spreads it out. Here we go. Last couple of reps kind of slid into the easier position. Alright guys, so now we're going to do the high cup multi-spinner and the low cup multi-spinner. So what you do is you basically take your multi-spinner, take your strap, wrap it around the back of your wrist first, like that. One full motion, probably about 1.5. There's the full motion, and then you come up about half of your wrist, and then you want to go over the top of the can for the high cup. And depending on how much length of your strap you have, you might have to wrap it a couple times. Tighten it up before you start lifting it. Go under, and then you just lift like that. And then for the low cup, it's basically the same, but I'm not sure if this is 100% proper, but instead of wrapping around the top of your can, I take it under the hand and wrap it around the bottom like this about 3 times. That's how much room I have for it. So that's what I'm going to do. And then after that, it's the same thing. And what you want to try and do is where the strap is connected to your weight, you want to try and keep all of your fingers outside of this little strap. You don't want it like this to where your fingers, because here's the strap and here's my fingers. You want it like this. You want it on the outside of your hand. So that way it's really leveraging on your hand. And the same thing for the high cup. But yeah, for that, you just do it. We're going to call this the last set for the day. I hope you guys enjoyed watching this. Hope you have a Merry Christmas or whatever holiday it is that you celebrate. I'll see you in the next one.